What's up guys, it's your style guy Tony and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be introducing two trendy derbies for not just minimalist, designer minimalist. So what is a designer minimalist? When you think of minimal outfits, you'll most likely think of something like this. Something in the middle of semi-formal and casual, so this is kind of like casual, this is semi-formal. And what designer minimalists mean is simply that you like to dress this way, but you have more money to invest on clothes. So this coat might be Uniqlo, but a designer minimalist would buy this from like Alyx Studio, something like that. The entire theme of outfit doesn't change. So as a designer minimalist, your theme of minimalism is not going to change, but the brand is going to change, and that's the only difference. And usually the transition from minimal to designer minimal is really smooth. The reason for that is simple. As I mentioned, the theme doesn't change, so as you add on new clothes, you don't really have to wipe out your entire wardrobe, you just change one or two items. As always, that's a brief intro that I wanted to provide to everyone so that in every video I make it actually bring value to the audience, because as you gain more knowledge, your eyes are going to be wide open and you're going to see much more detail in every outfit than you've ever have. So enough of the intro, let's go to shoes. The first one that I want to introduce is the Maison Margiela Oversole. I honestly love the idea of chunky oversole derbies, and even before this video, I made a full video dedicated on the Maison Margiela Loafer Oversole. So this one is a derby, the other one was a loafer. I really love this design, so I wanted to review everything. Anyway, this was $900 USD, and the next one I want to introduce is the Alyx Studio's Removable Sole Derbies. If you follow Alyx Studio on Instagram, I'm pretty sure you've seen it. It has the removable sole. So this part right here, this comes off. It's really hard to take it off, but it does come off. And the Alyx Studio's derbies is around $800. So the first impression, you can see that this is kind of like more of a classy retro look, and this is more like futuristic, techno, I don't know, like something more trendy and modern. And that's one thing you should keep in mind throughout this video so that you can tell the difference and you get to pick which one really fits you. And even with the laces, you can tell that this is like a normal lace and these are like broken up here. There's another flap coming up. So the concept of both shoes are chunky derbies, but they do have differences. Let's take a look at their profile. The side profile mostly looks the same. Like you got the curve going on here, really high heels. This is 3 inches. 3 inches. You get to be like 5'9", you can be 6 feet. That's honestly a huge boost, so if you want something that can make you look really tall and something that's not as flashy, you should definitely consider these. However, also consider the weight. So the weight of these are insane. I thought the Maison Margiela was heavy, so these are around 2 pounds. I feel like I couldn't actually weigh it because I don't have a scale, but I'm thinking of getting a scale. Anyway, putting that aside, I thought Maison Margiela was heavy. The Alyx Studio is like double the weight. I'm pretty sure it's because of the Vibram sole, but that's just insane. It's like 4 pounds on your feet, and whenever you walk, you can feel the weight just dragging you. So that's one thing to really keep in mind before purchasing these. And in terms of style, as I mentioned in the first impression, the Maison Margiela honestly is more versatile because it's classic and it's not like flashy at all. Whereas the Alyx Studio, it is really nice, but once the trend moves to like non-chunky shoes, this is going to be hard to wear because it won't be as versatile as the Maison Margiela. And in terms of sizing, the Maison Margiela had a bit of room inside, so you could even go like half size down, but I always recommend a bit bigger shoes, so I would go true to size, and then just wearing thicker socks for winter and something like that. Especially for chunky shoes, you'd never want to go too small because that's just gonna look really weird. My size, which is 39, it looks kind of awkward. And then the Alyx Studio, it was a bit tight. And for Alyx Studio, I recommend going one full size up because it's really tight around your feet. And now looking at the texture, you probably guessed from the previous pictures, the Alyx Studio is made up of hard leather, coated, and it's really shiny. Whereas the Maison Margiela, it's grainy, it's soft, and the profile is more roundy, and this one is more sharp. Honestly, when I pick leather shoes, I like soft leather because when your feet's happy, you're gonna be happy. When your feet's uncomfortable, you're not gonna be happy. And then on the inside, it's the same thing. Maison Margiela used more of a softer leather, and it has this brown inner lining. And then the Alyx Studio, it's just the same texture as the outside. It's really hard, really shiny, and coated. So when I put my feet in, obviously my feet's more comfortable in Margiela because everything is really soft. But I assume as I break into the Alyx, it's going to be better, but as of now, it's not really comfortable. And in terms of stitching, they both have really nice stitching. Because the stitching is so fine, I had to go really close up, and even when I'm close up, you can see like it's really high quality stitching. And same with the Alyx Studio, their stitching is really fine, really minimal. They're all fine straight line, it's really tight. It's just top grade stitching for both pairs. So now we have the general picture of both shoes. Let's look at some details. Looking at the back of Maison Margiela, they always have this is like their kind of logo. And personally, I really like it because it's not something that everyone's gonna recognize, but people who know it, they're not gonna miss it. From the back, you can see a lot of layers going on with the heels. And then looking at the Alyx, this is not necessarily a back detail because at the back there's nothing, but they do have a cushion on the tongue, which was pretty new. I've never seen a derby that has this mesh padding. So it was pretty cool to see it, and it was actually functional. When my ankles touched the tongue, it was really pleasant, it was really soft, so I like it. Now let's look at the 3-inch heels. So what's going up with the heels that makes it 3 inches? For Maison Margiela, there's a shark sole, so this is like half an inch maybe, and then there's a lot of layers coming in. And the best part is, for both pairs, it doesn't really look like 3-inch heels. Like, it does look really big, but you wouldn't assume that it's 3 inches. Because just by the shape itself, it seems like the shoe bottom starts somewhere around here, but it actually starts like here. And then same with the Alyx Studio ones. These ones, they actually start around here, somewhere like here. Personally, I think Maison Margiela did a better job at hiding that 3 inches, but both did a pretty good job. The only thing that I don't like about Alyx Studios is the Vibram. Like, I'm glad that it's not yellow because Vibram sole always has that yellow logo, which is on the bottom, but I'm glad that they didn't put it here. It just doesn't look like top of the line product. It's like you buy an Apple phone and it comes with like Samsung earbuds. I'm Korean, no offense to Koreans, but that's just how it looks. And then looking at the bottom, neither of the pairs have derby bottom soles. They're more like hiking, running shoes, not running shoes, hiking bottom soles. Really strong, really sturdy, and the Vibram sole is almost indestructible, so you can wear these to anywhere, except it's heavy as hell, so if you wear to hiking, you'll probably regret it, so I don't recommend that. And for Maison Margiela, obviously the shark sole is going to wear out as you wear it, but that's just how it is. It doesn't wear out too much, so don't be too concerned about it. After all, you have 3 inches to grind it down, so probably take like 10-20 years. And now it's finally time to take a look at the removable soles. So this is from their website, exact same derbies, but they're taking it out. They make it seem easy, but it's hard as hell. Anyway, the point is, you can take off the derby and it'll be derbies by itself, but I don't believe the functionality as a derby itself, and I'll show you why. So when I take it off, it's like this, and it's really small. You'll probably not get the idea of how small it is in pictures, so this is what I did. I can palm it basically. These are size 40s and my hands are not big, like my hands are just average Asian hands. So once you remove it, it kind of becomes like a kid's shoe, which is not pleasing. And now I'll show how hard it is to remove this. I hate to remove it because it takes so long, but I'll have to show you. So first, you have to kind of take this off like one by one side by one. And then, so the front is really easy. Like I say, it's easy, but then the back is insanely hard.
I kind of have to like, I don't even know if this is in the angle, but I have to.
There you go. So this is how it looks without the bottom sole. Palm it, like it's really not that big. And it kind of looks like it's lacking something. Keep in mind, before recording this, I practiced this like 10 times and it's still really hard. And after removing the sole, it's not really wearable, so to say. Like, I can't imagine a situation where I would pick these derbies instead of the normal derbies that I have. Like, if I want to wear derbies, I'd rather wear my other ones than this one. And if I want to wear chunky derbies, I'll just wear with the sole. So I don't know if the removable sole was a great idea because it doesn't even fit other shoes either. I kind of felt like it's a sales tactic, but whatever. So my verdict on the removable sole is that it's not really useful. It's not functional at all. But one thing that I was surprised is that they were pretty honest with the inside as well. So the heel of the derbies, they're actually manufactured pretty well, and there's decent grip on the front side of the bottom. And then this is the removable sole by itself. 40 is my size, R right, and then this is probably the model number. There's nothing too special about it. I assume these holes are mainly for weight reduction and cushioning. And maybe if there's water coming in, like it's gonna flow in here. Oh, and one thing, that's what I wanted to mention. So if there's water flowing into your shoes, you're kind of fucked. Like, they're just gonna stay here and it's gonna be heavy as shit. I guess I'm being pretty harsh on the Alyx Studio derbies. And I'm also pretty sure that I'm biased with Margiela because I like the brand. One thing to note though is that these are all sold out, and there's probably a reason why it's sold out. It's a decent design. I'm just talking a lot about the removable sole because it's something that people are curious about. And with that in mind, there are some flaws. As I mentioned, if you're wearing this in like pouring rain, I hope you don't, but For some reason, rain comes in or dirt goes in. There are some gaps with the sole, regardless of how hard I push it in. There are some gaps. So this is on the side, right here. And then there's also one at the back. So the back one is like actually bigger than the side one. So I can fit the Canadian toonies. And then another thing that I want to note, it's not a flaw. It's designed like this for sure to hold the removable sole. However, this is what makes removable sole really hard to remove. So in terms of comparing these two pairs, I feel like Alyx Studio lack a bit of perfectionness, whereas Maison Margiela, I feel like it's more of a really perfected product more than the Alyx Studios. And if you've seen my previous video on Maison Margiela oversole loafers, you can definitely tell the difference. There wasn't any flaws, there wasn't any glue marks, there wasn't any scratches. It was good. Now that you saw the shoes, you're probably curious, how should I wear it? So for pairing, it's pretty easy. And this is a secret that goes out to every oversole shoes. Find slacks that cover just about here. It can be wide, it can be straight, but not skinny. Find slacks that go around here, and that's all you need. These pants are in trend, so are the chunky derbies. Like, you can see the runways of 2019 and even 2020. I expect there to be a lot of chunky derbies or chunky shoes in general. Chunky shoes are not going to go away. It's kind of like settled. You look for running shoes for running. You look for chunky shoes for fashion. So to recap, both are great for experienced minimal dresser. Why do I say experienced? Because if you just start out minimal outfits, it's kind of hard to wear these chunky derbies. Like, start with really minimal, really minimal, and then as you upgrade, put these designer pieces into your wardrobe, and that's the best way to transition from a minimalist to a designer minimalist. And then another takeaway is that neither are comfortable. So if you're looking for comfort, this is not the one. Or I could imagine wearing these as probably like going out on a date or watching a movie, something like that where you can sit a lot. If you're going out with your friends or you're not trying to impress someone, don't do it. You'll regret it for sure. And then for outfits, wear with long wide trousers, as I mentioned previously. And the removable sole, they're not really removable in a sense. Like, you could remove it, but are you gonna wear those shoes? Not really. So from my perspective, they're not functional, they're just there for fun. So that's it for my video, and thank you so much for watching. Thanks a lot for those who have waited, because I've been caught up with schoolwork and I also had to find an internship, so I was caught up with all those stuff, and now I finally got the time to record. One thing I recently see in the comments as my video reached more audience, which is a great thing, but some people commenting that my comparison isn't really worth it, like for example comparing Dr. Martens to Common Project Chelsea's. That's just my thought. I think it's worth it. I think people are curious to see us going to keep doing what I'm doing, and thank you so much for those who are supporting me. And if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button here and check out my other videos on other designer shoes or fashion in general. See you in the next video. Bye!